It is May 29th, 1453. The walls are holding. Mehmed II has fired his cannons for 53 days. And still, Constantinople stands. Then a supply ship breaks through. Fresh soldiers flood the city. The gate holds. Mehmed retreats. Constantinople does not fall. Now ask yourself, what world do you wake up in today? Because the fall of Constantinople was not just the end of a city. It was the hinge of the entire modern world. Pull that hinge out, and almost everything you know about the last 500 years bends in a completely different direction. Start with trade. The Ottomans never control the overland routes to Asia. Spices and silk keep flowing west through Constantinople. Merchants in Venice still have a path to the east, and that means one man almost certainly never gets his funding. Christopher Columbus sailed west in 1492 because the eastern route was blocked. Spain needed a new way to Asia. But if Constantinople survives, that desperation disappears. Columbus pitches his voyage. He is turned down. The funding never comes. North America is not reached by Europeans in 1492. It may still happen, later, differently, by different people with different intentions. But the entire colonial architecture of the Americas shifts. The languages spoken there today, the borders, the populations that survived and those that did not. All of it changes. Now go back to Europe. A surviving Byzantine Empire is still the custodian of something priceless. The full library of ancient Greek philosophy, mathematics, and science. Historian Stephen Runciman argued that when Constantinople fell in our timeline, the Greek scholars who fled west directly ignited the Italian Renaissance. They carried the manuscripts. They sparked the rebirth. But in a world where Constantinople holds, those scholars stay behind the walls. The Renaissance still comes, but from a different direction, at a different pace, which means the scientific revolution moves at a different pace, which means the Industrial Revolution moves at a different pace. You see how fast the dominoes fall. And here is the twist almost nobody talks about. The fall of Constantinople created the refugee crisis that built the modern West. The scholars who fled brought Greek logic into European theology. That collision produced the Protestant Reformation. Martin Luther's challenge to the Catholic Church in 1517 is downstream of 1453 in ways historians are still tracing. In a world where Constantinople holds, the Reformation looks different. Different wars follow, different borders, different national identities, a completely different map of Europe by the year 1600. And now here you are, speaking a language shaped by colonial history that began because a city fell. Living in a country whose borders came from wars that followed a Reformation sparked by refugees from a siege. Using science built on a Renaissance lit by fleeing scholars. Every single link in that chain required Constantinople to fall. History does not hinge on kings and armies alone. It hinges on gates, on walls, on one ship that either gets through or does not. And the strangest part? You live every single day inside the consequences of that one gate. You just never knew you were standing in it.